I'd like to start off by saying thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Chada, for hosting such a beautiful event. And to Mrs. Chen, who traveled all the way from Hawaii, and Mr. Chen from Taiwan. Congratulations, we're also happy to share this day with you. So Eddie and I met in 1998 at our first trading job in New York City. Within a month, we were partners in crime, gallivanting around the city together. My first memories include late nights out at our favorite bar at the time, McSorley's. And if you were lucky enough to join Eddie there, you could not have forgotten it. We later went on to open our first nightclub together. Some of you may have been there. Where Eddie could regularly be found tending bar on Saturday nights. There were some pretty memorable stories I could recall for everyone today to give some examples of what that time in our lives was like, but they could potentially embarrass a large majority of people in this room, so we can discuss it later. All these experiences had one thing in common, and that is that Eddie isn't just a guy who has fun, but he is the guy that everyone wants to be around because he makes their night better. Another side of Eddie is that he is probably the most competitive person you will ever meet. And if you spend time with him, you'll quickly realize that anything involving keeping score will most likely result in a wager. To this day, for any of you that have had the pleasure of being in any bar with any type of game, nothing specific, video golf, shuffleboard, if you've been in this situation, you've probably heard the line, "How about loser does shot after the next game?" And I don't think a single one of us in this room can say they didn't regret taking that challenge. At some point later in the night, Eddie will probably begin to ease up on you out of pity because he does have a compassionate side. So one night about 5 years ago, Eddie was out for casual drinks. The next day when I saw him, he looked a little out of sorts. What was expected to be a short night out had apparently turned into a long night. I asked him what had happened, and he told me, "I met a girl. We stayed out late, talking all night. I lost track of time. She was very challenging. And I think I like her." He then went on to elaborate how this girl challenged him on every topic they spoke about throughout the night, and had something to say about everything. In the coming weeks, I heard story after story about their conversations, and being that Eddie loves to wager, and this girl was unwilling to back down on anything, a laundry list of outstanding bets began to develop. The most memorable was the bet Sonia made that she could beat Eddie in a swimming race, even after he explained to her that he was a 4-time All-American water polo player in college. A few weeks later, I had the chance to finally meet Sonia, and over the years since, I've been lucky enough to spend a lot of time with her. She is thoughtful, hilarious, smart, caring, and has vastly improved her wagering skills. I consider her to be a very close friend as well. One more side of Eddie is that he is one of the wisest and most caring people I know. He's always had sage wisdom to give, especially involving major life decisions. Throughout my life, Eddie has supported me countless times. He's extremely loyal, thinks everything through, and is always willing to drop everything on a moment's notice for people he cares about. I consider him family, and for most of the last 16 years, I usually call him with big news and life events before my own family. In speaking with mutual friends of ours in the weeks leading up to this event, there was a consistent response of, "Wow, Eddie's getting married." And over the years, a lot of us have joked around with him about being the last to grow up. But just knowing how thoughtful and careful he is with big decisions, and having had so many late-night philosophical conversations about life and love over the years, I think he was always ready. He just hadn't met Sonia yet. Sonia, I couldn't be happier to have you joining the family. And Eddie, I'm so glad you waited as long as you did, and were as careful as you have been to do it right. Here's to a lifetime of love, happy and memorable moments, beautiful, healthy children, and many more challenging and ridiculous wagers. To Eddie and Sonia, I love you both.